Honduras is one of the poorest countries in Central and South America, but there's a new idea about to be tried in Honduras. It's called a ZED, a privately run zone with legal, economic, and political autonomy. The laws are all in place, investors are lined up and ready to go, and the big question's about to be answered. Will this actually work?
My name is Gabriel Delgado. I'm the CEO of Elevator Cities, a company that's looking to take advantage of jurisdiction passed in Honduras that creates a special area that different laws and different systems can be brought in. We want to be one of the top 5 cities in the world in 30 years. This is solving problems at a much larger scale to bring a lot of opportunities to people that right now just currently don't have them.
The best scenario for the Honduran ZEDs is that it becomes a demonstration of how we can install a new legal system with much higher quality rule of law and economic freedom so that we can create a Hong Kong of Honduras.
The ZED legislation allows firms to implement their own commercial and civil law in the zones. And Delgado believes that Elevator Cities' unique approach will make or break their startup city.
Our competitive advantage is our legal system. I sell you my car. What I promised you I was going to deliver and what I actually delivered you are completely different things. You don't even have to go to a lawyer to do anything. You can just go into the software and click on that you want to run arbitration on this contract. That contract is going to be what's called a smart contract. And it's basically what's called baseball arbitration, where you choose your arbiter, I choose mine, they choose a common one, and then he looks at all the data and then he issues a judgment. Also, loser pays damages, because we're trying to do this as organic as possible. And what we believe is going to happen is much what has happened in the history of the world. People go where it's easier to get things done. Simple as that.
The law permits companies to levy taxes in the zones, but caps federal taxes and allows flexibility in methods of political representation.
We think democracy is important. The thing is, how do you create a system where people can't vote themselves more and more privileges as time goes by? It's actually whoever owns a share that actually gets to vote. You could get a share if you incorporate a business, or you can get a share if you owned a piece of land. So there's different ways of becoming a shareholder. The opt-in nature of the project is really the key to the whole thing, because you're not compelling anybody by force to come here. You are showing people the opportunity and they choose to come. So it's going to fail or succeed on its own merits.
The biggest challenge that Honduran startup cities face are perhaps those of safety in one of the most violent countries in the world. While the zones must abide by Honduran criminal law, they can provide their own police and security forces.
So you can create a zone where there's a security force that isn't the government security force policing your area, much like a homeowners association again. So that generates a serious increase in the security situation for families that are subject to violence. People will most likely move if there is opportunity plus security. So I think that's what we're trying to provide.
The first zones will likely be approved in the next several months, and only then will the world begin to see if competing autonomous jurisdictions are a far-fetched fantasy or a practical tool to fix a broken system that's often seemed beyond repair.
It takes people to really dream to be able to get one of these things done. I really want more people to dream with us about this, about what the effect that this can have in the world.
So if this can be made to work and attract investment and resolve all of the other potential issues, I expect to see in the next 10 to 20 years literally first dozens and eventually perhaps hundreds of similar experiments around the world that will accelerate the end of poverty more rapidly than anything anyone can imagine.